Very welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the third episode of Power Break with Dave on Hockeyfeber. My name is David, and today I have a new guest from a new team. And this time I have a guest called Maria Lodnanova. Did I pronounce your second name right?
Yes, but I'm actually Anna Maria in total, okay. like my name.
Okay. Is everything fine with you?
Yes.
Yes. And for those of you that don't know, you play in IF Troja-Ljungby Division 1, also called the National Women's Ice Hockey League in Sweden.
Yes.
Yeah. And you play as a right wing, and this is the third season you play in Troja?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how would you describe yourself as an ice hockey player?
Well, this question would be probably better answered by the coach, but I think I'm like the type of player that could actually like play any position as a forward. Like this season, I, for example, started with center, and sometimes I play wings, any of the wings. I would say I'm always trying to train hard, and as well like on games and on practices. And I'm like more like the one that prefer to pass if the other players are in better position or preferred position, rather than take the puck by myself.
A real team player, so to say.
Yeah.
How come that you began playing ice hockey all from the beginning?
I started actually pretty late. I think I was either 12 or 13. And like I was always doing some sports, but it was more like just for fun. And then there was like women hockey day that day, and my mom found out on the internet, and she was like, "Oh, would you like to try it?" Then I was like, "Yeah, sure." I was open up for every kind of like adventure.
Yeah.
Then I went on ice for like maybe second time because I went for like skating sometimes with my friends or with my family, but it wasn't actually like with the stick or
No, it just was for fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then like after that I was like, oh, this is actually kind of interesting sport, so let me try it. And then I just started.
Yeah. So as the time did go by, as you said, when you began playing, did you find out to have some specific role model in ice hockey that you looked up to?
Well, I never had like any specific role model. I rather like admire players based on their current skills and approach toward the games. So it was pretty much different player like every season.
Yeah. So you looked at many different kind of players and took specific things to learn and to
exactly
give it to your game, so to say.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you are in your third season for IF Troja-Ljungby. And how do you feel that the start have been for you specifically, but also as a team so far?
So like overall, I think we are doing great job this season. Currently, we are on the second in our division, I believe. And even though the team has changed like so much to compare with last seasons, like we have so many young players, and like I feel like we got along well pretty fast, like on ice. The coach is giving us so many like is giving us motivation, of course, which is needed for the game. Then he give us like he spent the time with us basically to explain like our pros and cons, and like trying to reduce the cons as much as possible, which also helps us to do better result, of course. And additionally, I think we have very good like and experienced goalkeepers which we can rely on. And about me, like nevertheless, I had like the surgery of my knee basically in the beginning of this year. I think I'm getting slowly to the shape as before. However, there is like still a lot to improve, of course.
But you take classic saying one game at a time.
I'm sorry?
So in a classic saying you take one game at a time. Considering that you had the surgery before, so but still you have played, I think, 7 games and doing 2 goals, 1 assist, so 3 points so far, right? For you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, but as you said before, it's all also about playing great as a team, not just specifically making points for ourselves, but making sure that the team goes in the direction that they want.
Yeah, exactly. Like hockey is collective sport, so like, what is the point of just to, like, try to get as many points as possible? I rather like to win the game in general. Like,
that's and I think for this specific interview, IF Troja-Ljungby have really succeeded making a great culture for female ice hockey. Last season, you were going to Hockeyallsvenskan, the kind of playoff tournament, and you did do really well on the in the table before going to the playoff. And this season, so far, you have been in the position as number 2 team after Frölunda HC. So far.
But last year about the playoff, I haven't played the playoff.
No, but as a team in a whole, I think it's a really great atmosphere and creating a good culture for female ice hockey, making sure that they feel really proud to represent, in this case, IF Troja-Ljungby, and I think that is a great team spirit to have.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I think for many Swedes, at least, IF Troja-Ljungby is a really classic and have a long tradition of making really great ice hockey players. So I think it's a fantastic place to develop as an ice hockey player, even if you are a female or a male.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So do you have had any specific personal goals with this season?
I would say like to fully recover from the injury and then like consistently like improving. I would also actually like to get better in skating and shooting. That's my kind of like weakness currently, I would say. And about the main goal is actually like to get good enough to play one day in SDHL.
Yeah, that's great goals to have.
Yeah, I think that's like a goal for everybody here in Sweden.
Yeah, of course. I absolutely think you will reach those goals. And do you think, as you have been the season 14-15, you was selected for Slovakia's U15 Slovakia selects the team? And do you think that Slovakian women's ice hockey, how do you think it have developed for you as persons for the 2 last years, so to say?
Well, like this is a bit harder since I was like 2 years in Czech Republic, and then like I went directly to Sweden for like I'm here for 3 years. But what I heard from my friends, like they are paying much more attention to women team, and also like they have more teams in Slovakia, because like here in Sweden there is so many divisions, but in Slovakia there is just one division, and like before it used to be like 6-7 teams, 6-ish, and right now is like actually more, so it's a good start.
So that was actually my next question. So do you think that is one step to kind of continuing the development for women's ice hockey to create more teams and more opportunities for all the women to have different teams to play in?
Yeah, I think that's actually really important, because okay, like when I compare it to Sweden, there is like,
I think it's a big difference when it comes to Slovakian and Swedish, that they have more teams and more opportunities to choose between.
Yeah, exactly. And also like in here there is like it's not also good for players but also for the coaches, because like in Slovakia there is every team kind of they need the girls because there is not enough players. So they are actually taking everybody. But here in Sweden, if you want to get to the team, you need to prove that you are good enough, like either by tryout, and you still need to like develop your skills and get better. Otherwise, you don't have a place in the the club.
Like kind of they have actual selection, so they can select that. And if you don't succeed, you actually need to train harder to prove to the next year's camp. And in Slovakia, you mean maybe that it's so few too much difference that they just need to take the ones that actually knows of ice hockey.
Yeah, exactly.
So and it also needs to kind of maybe create more camp opportunities so people can try out and try ice hockey.
Yeah, exactly. Like you kind of need, like the teams kind of need the competition.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like the team won't move anywhere. You know, like yeah.
Yeah.
Like
so
the more competition, the better can get the team actually, if the competition is higher, of course. My point of view, I mean, I'm not a coach, but I personally like think that coaches, like as when this is not just for women team, but it's also for guys team. When the kids are younger, the coaches like shouldn't focus on the outcomes of the game, but like they should more focus like on like to give equal chance to the players regardless of their performance. Because like it's such a demotivation for them, I believe, like to sitting on the bench, it doesn't move them anywhere basically. And also like that's also why so many players quit ice hockey when they are younger.
Great view and perspective. So in also that next question I had that goes wide for all the Europe. Do you think that women's ice hockey would develop more all over the countries if they had also a club competition compared as CHL, but for women?
Yeah, I think it would be actually a great benefit. Since the players or the teams can compare themselves to another teams from different nations. Like it's also a great experience. I mean, of course, there's like the national team, and you can compare, you know, like when you are going, for example, I don't know, world championship or something like that. But like this is actually, I think, better.
Yeah. So, but that I also think, and maybe for the smaller countries that don't have developed ice hockey so much, they could have their national team competing in that club competition, so that they feel the next year that they want to create an actual league team to make the sport bigger. So that's an idea I have had actually. So I was eager to ask that question. That's why. I would like to see such competition. I think that would be great, not only for Slovakian but also for many other countries to make it even bigger. With your experience before coming to Sweden, playing as you said in Slovakia and Czechia, what do you think is the biggest difference between the countries when it comes to playing games and training?
This is actually a bit harder since I was like in Slovakia. I just started there and I was a kid. But what I've noticed is like in Slovakia, like, okay, so as I said before, when you want to get into a team in Slovakia, it's easier to get to the women team since like they don't have enough players and they need them. But here in Sweden, you need to actually get the place. And as well as like in Slovakia, I actually like developed the discipline. Like the coach was always with us on off ice, with like on ice, of course. But like here, it's more like sometimes the coach just give us the exercise and we do it by ourselves. Like it's more individual.
Yes.
From this point of view.
Yeah, but I think as the time go by, we really hope that it grows and you have more selection and more women find out, not only in Slovakia, but that's the reason why we sit here. We love the sport, so we hope that it gets bigger.
Yeah.
And the last question I have, if you would give any advice to all the young boys and girls out there that look on this episode, what would the advice be to them to make them even greater and better ice hockey players, do you think?
I think just to have fun, because in my opinion, that's the most important part. Like, for example, players can train like 5 hours a day or like going gym, playing ice, like being on ice, running. But if they don't actually enjoy it, then it's like worthless in the long run.
Yeah.
And also like develop discipline, I would say, because like, let's say me, I don't like wake up every day motivated, so I just need to have the discipline actually to get up and do that, you know.
Yeah, I understand. Really great advice, I think, but most of all, as I have interviewed many others before, to have fun, I think also is the most important to grow this focus and passion for the sport. Really great advice. And I was really happy and proud to have you as my third guest on Power Break with Dave. And I thank you so much for your being a part in this episode. And I wish you and all your teammates in Troja-Ljungby the very best for the rest of the season and for your future career. And I think we will see a lot of you in the hockey universe for the time being, as you have a great talent for ice hockey.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And for all of the viewers, for you that don't subscribe or follow Hockeyfeber, and make sure to push the subscribe button and like and share and subscribe on Hockeyfeber so you don't miss out of any great episodes that I put out. I thank you so much for looking, and I wish you all a pleasant weekend and take care, and we see each other on YouTube. Bye-bye.